I thought I had it all. A loving partner, a beautiful home, and a great neighborhood. The annual block party was coming up, and I was genuinely excited. Grilling, laughing with friends, just enjoying the summer. Little did I know, this year's block party would be one for the history books, but not for the reasons I thought. It all started a few weeks before. My partner, let's call her Sarah, had been acting distant. Late nights at work, constantly on her phone, a general coldness that wasn't there before. I tried to talk to her, asked if everything was okay. She'd just brush it off, saying she was stressed with a big project. I wanted to believe her, I really did, but my gut was screaming that something was wrong. Then there was our neighbor, Mark. He and his wife had moved in about a year ago. Mark was always a bit too friendly with Sarah for my liking. A lingering hand on her arm, a shared laugh that went on just a little too long. I told myself I was being paranoid, insecure. They were just being neighborly, right? The first real clue came from our home security camera. I was checking the footage one day after a package went missing, and I stumbled upon something that made my blood run cold. It was from the previous afternoon when I was at work. Mark's car pulled up. He got out and walked right into our house. He was inside for over 2 hours. 2 hours. When he left, Sarah walked him to the door, and they shared a long, passionate kiss on our front porch. My front porch. My world shattered. I watched the clip over and over, each time feeling a fresh wave of betrayal and rage. The missing package was forgotten. All I could see was the two of them, right there in crystal clear HD. My first instinct was to confront her, to scream, to throw things. But as I sat there, numb, a different idea began to form. A cold, calculated idea. The block party was in 2 weeks. Everyone would be there. His wife, all our friends, the entire neighborhood. If Sarah and Mark wanted to make a fool of me, I decided I would return the favor, but on a much grander scale. The next 2 weeks were the hardest of my life. I had to pretend everything was normal. I smiled. I made small talk. I helped Sarah plan what we were bringing to the party. Inside, I was a wreck. I felt like I was living with a stranger. Every time she touched me, I had to fight the urge to flinch. Every time her phone buzzed, I felt that sickening knot in my stomach. I spent my nights gathering more evidence. I set up a hidden audio recorder in the living room. The things I heard, let's just say they confirmed everything, and then some. They weren't just having an affair, they were mocking me. Laughing about how clueless I was, planning a future together, once Sarah found the right time to leave me. Mark even joked about how his wife was equally oblivious. The day of the block party arrived. It was a perfect sunny afternoon. The street was closed off. Tables were laden with food. Kids were running around, and music was playing. It was the picture of suburban bliss. Sarah was in high spirits, laughing with her friends. Mark was manning the grill, flipping burgers, and acting like the king of the neighborhood. His wife, a sweet woman named Emily, was helping set out plates. She smiled at me, and a pang of guilt hit me. She didn't deserve any of this, but she deserved to know the truth. I waited for the perfect moment. The sun was starting to set, and everyone had gathered in the center of the street. Our neighborhood association president, Mr. Henderson, got on a small portable microphone to make his annual welcome speech and hand out some silly awards. That was my cue. While Mr. Henderson was rambling on about the best lawn, I casually walked over to the sound system. I had brought my own laptop, and it took me less than 10 seconds to unplug his microphone and plug in my audio output. I had the video from the security camera queued up, ready to go. On the side of the Johnson's house, a huge inflatable movie screen had been set up for a kids' movie later that night. It was the perfect canvas. I connected my laptop to the projector. Mr. Henderson finished his speech and said, "And now, a little music before the movie." He hit play on his device, but nothing happened. He looked confused. I took a deep breath. "Allow me," I said, my voice shaking slightly. I walked up to the microphone, which was now live and connected to my setup. "Hello, everyone," I began. The whole street went quiet, turning to look at me. "I'm so glad we could all be together today. It really feels like one big, happy family." I looked directly at Sarah, whose smile was starting to falter. I then glanced at Mark, who had a burger spatula frozen midair. Family and community are all about trust and honesty, right? I continued, my voice growing stronger, so I thought it would be a great time for some truth. Some people here have been keeping secrets, and I think it's time we all get on the same page. Before anyone could react, I hit play. The video from my security camera flashed onto the giant inflatable screen. The entire block party watched in stunned silence as Mark walked into my house. Then, the audio I had recorded started playing through the speakers. Their secret conversations, their laughter at my expense, their plans to destroy 2 homes for their own selfish desires. The audio was crystal clear. The crowd gasped. I saw Emily's face crumble. Sarah looked like she had seen a ghost, her face draining of all color. Mark dropped the spatula and just stood there, completely exposed. The grand finale was, of course, the porch kiss, displayed 10 feet high for everyone to see. The video ended, and I put the clip on a loop. The kiss, over and over. There was a dead, deafening silence for what felt like an eternity. Then, Emily walked slowly towards Mark. She didn't scream, she didn't cry. She just looked at him with a look of utter contempt and then slapped him so hard across the face the sound echoed down the street. She turned and walked away without a single word. All eyes then turned to Sarah. Her friends were backing away from her. The whisper started growing into a low roar of judgment. She looked at me, her eyes pleading, but there was no remorse in them, only fear of being caught. "I believe this belongs to you," I said into the microphone, my voice steady and cold. I held up a box filled with all her things that I had packed that morning. I set it down on the pavement. "You have 5 minutes to get your stuff and get out of my house. The locks will be changed in an hour." I dropped the mic. I didn't stick around to watch the aftermath. I turned my back on the whole chaotic scene, walked back into my empty house, and locked the door. For the first time in weeks, I felt like I could breathe again. It wasn't a happy ending, not in the traditional sense. It was messy, and it was painful. But it was my ending. I took back the control they tried to steal from me. And as I heard a car peel out down the street, I knew I had made the right choice. My new life, a life built on my own terms, had just begun. Thank you for listening to my story. If you've ever been through something similar, know that you're not alone and you have the strength to get through it. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more content. See you next time.